Hello and welcome to My Daily Trivia. I'm your host, Danny. Today is Monday, October 2nd, and I hope that you are having a wonderful day. Happy October, everybody. I hope it's off to a good start. I hope your week is off to a good start, and I hope that you all had a great weekend as well. Now, if this is your first time listening to this show, I of course want to say welcome. Now, My Daily Trivia is a 10-round quiz show with no specific themes, topics, or categories, but we do have a new episode every day. That's Monday through Friday, with each day getting progressively harder. By the way, we take the weekends off. Now, today is Monday, which means that today will be the easiest day of the week. We're just starting things off slow, and we'll ramp it as we go. As always, if you find this episode to be a bit too challenging, not to fear, I encourage you to listen to it anyway. As a matter of fact, I think you should listen to every show this week. You never know, you might surprise yourself. You might know the answer to some pretty difficult questions. On the other hand, if you find this episode to be a bit too simple, well, that's okay. This is the easiest show of the week. You can always tune in tomorrow for a bit more of a challenge. Now, without any further delay, let's get into today's round of questions with question number 1. Who is the company Tesla named after? And that company is named after Nikola Tesla. Tesla Inc. is an American multinational automotive and clean energy company headquartered in Austin, Texas, and the name is a tribute to inventor and engineer Nikola Tesla. Now, Nikola Tesla, the man, was a Siberian American inventor, electrical engineer, mechanical engineer, and futurist, best known for his contributions to the design of the modern alternating current electricity supply system. And so that's Nikola Tesla, a man so smart that they named the electric car company Tesla after him. Question number 2. Which animal is known as the king of the jungle? And the answer there, of course, is the lion. The lion is a large cat of the genus Panthera, native to Africa and India. It has a muscular, broad-chested body, a short, rounded head, round ears, and hairy tuft at the end of its tail. It is sexually dimorphic, which means that adult males are larger than the females and have a prominent mane. It is a social species, forming groups called prides. The lion's pride consists of typically few adult males, then related females, and then, of course, some cubs. Groups of females will typically hunt together, preying mostly on large ungulates. Now, the lion is an apex and keystone predator, which helps give it the nickname the apex predator, and of course the nickname King of the Jungle. Now, I did not know this, and perhaps you did. I actually did not know that there were lions native to India. Of course, they are endangered. There's only about 400 left in the wild, but there is the Asiatic lion, which is quite interesting. So, that is the lion, aka the king of the jungle. Question number 3. Which popular TV series is based on the life and activities of the infamous Colombian drug lord Pablo Escobar? And that TV series is Narcos. Narcos is an American crime drama television series set and filmed in Colombia. Seasons 1 and 2 are based on the story of Colombian narco-terrorist and drug kingpin Pablo Escobar, who is the leader of the Medellin cartel and became a billionaire through the production and distribution of cocaine. The series also focuses on Escobar's interaction with different drug lords, the Drug Enforcement Administration agents, and various opposing entities. Now, I personally have seen that show, at least I watched the first 2 seasons. Thought it was fantastic. I would recommend that to anybody. So once again, that is Narcos, the TV series based on the life of the drug lord Pablo Escobar. Moving on to question number 4. From what country did saunas originate from? And that country is Finland. A sauna, or sudatory, is a small room or building designed as a place to experience dry or wet heat sessions with the purpose of making the bathers perspire. Now, saunas originated in Finland, where the oldest known saunas were made from pits dug in a slope in the ground and primarily used as dwellings in the wintertime. In Finland, there are built-in saunas in almost every house, including communal saunas in some of the older apartment buildings. And actually, since the 1980s, private saunas have often been built into the bathrooms of typical Finnish apartments in newer buildings, and sometimes even in student housing. So they truly love their saunas over there in Finland. My dad actually, when I was growing up, he built a. He's very handy. He's very good at building things, and he actually built a sauna in our house growing up, and it was quite nice to have. So that is the sauna originating out of Finland. Question number 5. What rodent first came to America by stowing away on ships? And that, of course, is the ubiquitous rat. Rats are various medium-sized, long-tailed rodents. When introduced into locations where rats previously did not exist, they can wreak an enormous degree of environmental degradation. The black rat is considered to be one of the world's worst invasive species. Also known as the ship rat, it has been carried worldwide as a stowaway on seagoing vessels for millennia and has usually accompanied men to any new area visited or settled by human beings by sea. So that's the rats. Now, it was making me laugh a little bit. I was trying to think of other rodents and how funny it might be. What if I told you that it was the squirrel? Could you imagine how funny it would be if squirrels were an invasive species and they got on a ship sometime back in the 1500s, and that's why they're in the United States? I don't know. It was making me laugh just to think about that, but no, it is not the squirrel. It is, in fact, the rat. Moving on to question number 6. What music video did Michael Jackson play a werewolf and a zombie? And of course, that is the iconic Thriller. Michael Jackson's Thriller is a 1983 music video for the song Thriller by the American singer Michael Jackson. It was released on December 2nd, 1983. It references numerous horror films and sees Jackson dancing with a horde of zombies. Michael Jackson's Thriller was launched to great anticipation and played regularly on MTV. It doubled the sales of Thriller, helping it become the best-selling album in history, and the documentary sold over 1 million copies, becoming the best-selling videotape at the time. Now, when I was a kid, I thought that the music video was absolutely terrifying. It scared me when I was younger. But of course now, not only is it iconic, but even as I'm talking, you can't see me, but I'm doing the dance, where you lift your hands up like that, go back and forth. You know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, go look it up. Iconic. That is Michael Jackson's music video, Thriller. Question number 7. There are 40,000 muscles and tendons in what part of an elephant's body? Now, it's not those big ears. It's not those big legs. It's not that funny little tail. No, of course, what we're talking about here is the trunk. The elongated and prehensile trunk, or proboscis consists of both the nose and the upper lip, which fuse in early fetal development. The trunk's extreme flexibility allows it to forage and wrestle other elephants with it. It is powerful enough to lift up to 770 pounds, which is equivalent to about 350 kilograms, but it also has the precision to crack a peanut shell without breaking the seed. Now, can you imagine that? I bet everyone listening to this, first of all, not only can you not lift 770 pounds, I highly doubt it, but I bet it would be even hard for you to crack a peanut shell without breaking the seed. And yet this thing, with the trunk, an elephant can do both. Including that, with its trunk, an elephant can also reach items up to 7 meters. That's equivalent to 23 feet. And it can dig for water in the mud or sand below. Of course, it also uses it to clean itself. The iconic image comes to mind of an elephant sucking up water and using it as a hose to bathe. So it can't do any of that without those 40,000 muscles and tendons that are found in the trunk of an elephant. Moving on to question number 8. What was the code name for the Allied invasion of Nazi-occupied Western Europe on June 6, 1944, which marked the beginning of the end of World War II in Europe? And that code name is, of course, D-Day. The Normandy landings were the landing operations and associated airborne operations of Tuesday, the 6th of June, 1944, of the Allied invasion of Normandy in Operation Overlord during World War II. Codenamed Operation Neptune and often referred to as D-Day, it was and still is the largest seaborne invasion in history. The operation began the liberation of France and laid the foundations of the Allied victory on the Western Front. Now, just for the record, for your answer, if you said D-Day, I of course would have accepted it. If you said Operation Overlord, I would have accepted it. And if you would have said the codename Operation Neptune, I probably would have accepted that as well. I guess technically all three have something to do with the invasion of Europe, and so I think that that is appropriate. Now, next year will be on June 6th of 2024, that will be the 80th the 80th anniversary, rather, of that famous landing of D-Day in Nazi-occupied France. Moving on to question number 9. Which animal can be seen on the Porsche logo? And that animal is, in fact, a horse. It's kind of a pony, kind of rearing up on its hind legs. Porsche is a German automobile manufacturer specializing in high-performance sports cars, SUVs, and sedans, and it is headquartered in Stuttgart, Baden-Württemberg, Germany. Porsche's company logo stems from the coat of arms of the Free People's State of Württemberg of Weimar, Germany, which lasted from 1918 to 1933, in which Stuttgart had its capital. And ultimately that is where the prancing pony of the Porsche logo comes from. Moving on to our last question of the day, question number 10. What is the name of the world's largest ocean? And that ocean, the biggest ocean, is, of course, the Pacific Ocean. The Pacific Ocean is the largest and deepest of the Earth's 5 oceanic divisions. It extends from the Arctic Ocean in the north to the Southern Ocean in the south and is bounded by continents of Asia, Oceania in the west, and the Americas in the east. With an area of 165,250,000 square kilometers, which is equivalent to 63,800,000 square miles, this largest division of the world ocean and hydrosphere covers about 46% of Earth's water surface and about 32% of the planet's total surface area, larger than its entire land area. So that means that if you took all of the land that's on Earth and added it together, it would still not cover as much space as the Pacific Ocean. Now, here's a fun fact. Due to movement of tectonic plates, the ocean itself, the Pacific Ocean, actually shrinks each year by 1 inch. And the Atlantic, on the other side of the Americas, grows by 1 inch. This is because the continents of North and South America are scooting to the west by 1 inch every year. And so, if you had guessed the Atlantic Ocean as the answer to this question, currently you're wrong. But someday in the future, we might not be around to see it, but someday you might be right. The Pacific Ocean is technically getting a little bit smaller. The Atlantic Ocean is technically getting a little bit bigger each year, but for now, the Pacific Ocean remains the world's largest ocean. Now that will conclude this round of My Daily Trivia. Of course, if you found this round to be simple, well, check in tomorrow. We're going to make it a little bit more difficult. And as always, if you found this episode to be a bit challenging, tell you what, why don't you tune in tomorrow anyway? You never know, you might surprise yourself. You might know the answer to some pretty tricky questions. And hey, even if you don't know the answer to any questions, you might learn something along the way. As always, we want to encourage you to tell your friends, tell your family about our show. We're always trying to grow the community here at My Daily Trivia. Speaking of community, I want to thank each of you for listening to My Daily Trivia. I'm your host, Danny, and I will see all of you tomorrow.